Hello, good morning. So I'm recording the last video for this session, nested if statements. Okay, so when it comes to nested if statements, we are going to see how we can put an if statement inside another if statement. Okay, so let me show you the question. And okay, the questions are written here already. So we are going to take an input, okay, and it's going to come in the form of what? A list, whatever it is. But then we are going to check if all 6 students' scores have been recorded. Okay, have been recorded. Then put the right word, recorded. Then we calculate for the average score, then we give a comment. So first and foremost, let's assume that this is the data. The data is equal to this list. Okay, so I'm not going to use the input. I'm just going straight forward to the data so that you guys see how it's being used. Now, given this data, first, I have to check if all the 6 student scores have been provided. So I'll be like, if the data, if the length of the data is equal to 6, so continuing from where I stopped, now if the length of the data is equal to 6, bring my indentation. Let me put pass, just temporal, okay? I'll come and write whatever code is there. Else print your data is not enough. Okay, so let's assume that the data was short by 1, so there are no 6 numbers in here. The computer will tell the user your data is not enough. Okay, but then if it is equal to 6, that means all the student scores have been recorded. Then that means the length of the data will be equal to 6. Okay, and I put pass there so that I can go and write this code. But now let's focus on this part. So let me delete the pass now. Now let's focus there. So we've already verified that the data is equal to what? 6. Now check if all 6 students have scores have been recorded. Yes, I've done the check. Now calculate for the average score. So let me calculate for the average score, and the average score will be the sum of the entire data. Okay, the sum of all the numbers in the list divided by 6, or the number of items in the list. Okay, and we know that it's supposed to be 6, and that's why I'm putting divided by 6. So now I've gotten the average score that I need. I've calculated it. Then the last is give a comment. So the comment I want to give is if they did well, or if the average is above 50%, would say, oh, the class performed well. And if the average is below 50%, we say the class didn't perform well. So you could see that once we calculate the average, we can now come in here, because after calculating the average, we have to give a comment. Okay, so it's still under this if statement. Okay, so we calculate the average and we have to give a comment. So if the average we calculated is greater than 50, print you performed well as a class. Okay, then we can say else print the class. No, let me use an else if so that we see the beauty of it. So else if the computer automatically did that, so I have to indent it because it should be in line with this. So else if the average score is above or is greater than, let's say, 30%, say print the class performed averagely. class performed averagely. Okay, then else print um there is more room for improvement. Okay, so these are if statements, and you can see that, let me separate it. You can see that there's an entire if and else statement inside another big if and else statement. Okay, so this is called nested if statement. So it just follows the structure of an if statement. Okay, the structure of an if statement is being followed. The simple structure is you write the word if, then you state your condition, then you write some code. Okay, if condition semicolon code, if condition semicolon code. Now the code you write can also be an if statement, it doesn't matter. Okay, now sometimes you may want to include an else if there's an alternative, but sometimes you can remove the else. Okay, so if there's an alternative you can say else. Now if there are more alternatives you use else if. Okay, so this is how we deal with nested if statement. Still follow the structure, the basic and the fundamental structure. If condition, then your code. Okay, if condition and your code, or if condition your code, else your code, or if condition 1, then action 1 will occur, else if condition 2, action 2 will occur, else if condition 3 is true, action 3 should occur, else action 4, or sometimes you may omit the else. It's not always compulsory to bring the else. So that is the whole concept of if statement. For now, if you can't write nested if statement, you can just go ahead and write a simple if statement. If condition semicolon your code. Simple. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. We'll see you in the next video. The next video I'm going to solve 2 examples and it's going to be great. Stay with me. Bye.